I finally made it.
How y'all folks doing this fine day? It's Gator here at the cable company, and I'm so glad you stopped in to see me today. Today we're going to go over the military. There's 8 branches of the military. We're going to get into this in a minute, but I want to put something out there too. What is very disturbing to me. Okay, now I know that we got 90%. I can look it up. I have 90%. You can look at my chat. Are not American, or at least they don't come from America. They're in other countries, and they're curious about America. And this is what my channel is about. My channel is about teaching about Americans, okay, and America. And we go over, and when the military is part of America, okay, and it's in every country, okay, we know this, okay, this is what, it's not the cable company's purpose is to promote any of this. I am just giving you the history of the military, okay, the company, you know what the company's main goal is, right, is for peace. And for all of us to come together as friends. That is the main goal. The cable company is your company. Remember that when you get my lectures and you listen to my history, this is very disturbing to me that that we have the Americans aren't coming in here to support this channel. And then I'm glad that everybody that it is coming in. I appreciate you. Thank you a lot, okay? Let's get right into the show. United States Armed Forces, the Executive Departments, Department of Defense, Department of Homeland Security. The staff is the Office of the Secretary of Defense and Joint Chiefs of Staff. Military departments is the Department of Air Force, the Military Services, United States Army, United States Marine Corps, United States Navy, United States Air Force, United States Space Force, United States Coast Guard. Command structure: Unified Combatant Command, Combat Support Agencies. The United States Army is the land service branch of the United States Armed Forces. It is one of 8 U.S. uniformed services and is designated as the Army of the United States in the U.S. Constitution. The Army is the oldest branch of the U.S. military and the most senior in order of precedence. It has its roots in the Continental Army, which was formed on 14th June 1775 to fight against the British for independence during the American Revolutionary War of 1775 to 1783. After the Revolutionary War, the Congress of the Confederation created the United States Army on the 3rd June 1784 to replace the disbanded Continental Army. The United States Army considers itself a continuation of the Continental Army and thus considers its institutional inception to be the origin of that armed force in 1775. The U.S. Army is a uniformed service of the United States and is part of the Department of the Army, which is one of 3 military departments of the Department of Defense. The U.S. Army is headed by a civilian senior appointed civil servant, the Secretary of the Army, and by a chief military officer. The Chief of Staff of the Army, CSA, who is also a member of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. It is the largest military branch, and in the fiscal year 2022, the projected end strength for the regular Army, USA, was 480,893 soldiers. The Army National Guard, ARNG, had 336,129 soldiers, and the U.S. Army Reserve, the USAR, had 188,703 soldiers. The combined component strength of the U.S. Army was 1,005,725 soldiers. As a branch of the armed forces, the mission of the U.S. Army is to fight and win our nation's wars by providing prompt, sustained, and land dominance across the full range of military operations and the spectrum of conflict in support of combatant commanders. The branch participates in conflicts worldwide and is a major ground-based offensive and defensive force of the United States of America. The United States Army serves as a land-based branch of the U.S. Armed Forces. Section 7062 of Title 10 U.S. Code defines the purpose of the Army as preserving the peace and security and providing for the defense of the United States, the Commonwealth, and the possessions and any area occupied by the United States, supporting the national policies, implementing the national objectives, overcoming any nations responsible for aggressive acts that imperil the peace and security of the United States.
Your daddy was home when you left.
You're right.
Your sister was home when you left.
You're right.
Your brother was home when you left.
You're right.
Your dog was home when you left.
You're right.
Your cat was home when you left.
You're right.
The fish was home when you left.
You're right.
Your mommy, your daddy, your brother, your sister, the dog, the cat, the fish was home when you left.
You're right.
And that's the reason you left.
You're right.
I left my home.
I left my home
To join the army.
to join the army.
I left my home.
I left my home
To join the army.
to join the army.
The day I left, my mama cried. She thought that
She thought that
I would surely die.
I would surely die.
I left my work. I kept the door.
Right at the door,
She knew that I
she knew that
would die at war.
I would die at war.
I left my son. Playing in the yard. He had me. Rain was so hard. Oh, we, oh, we. Oh, we, oh, we. Oh, we,
Drought round was one of the ships hit where he was. When I got over there, he was in pieces.
Comments. Yeah, go ahead. I'm glad that you're here.
The United States Marine Corps, USMC, also referred to as the United States Marines, is the Maritime Land Force Service branch of the United States Armed Forces, responsible for expeditionary and amphibious operations through combined arms, implementing its own infantry, artillery, aerial, and special operations forces. The U.S. Marine Corps is one of the 8 uniformed services of the United States. The Marine Corps has been part of the U.S. Department of Navy since 30th June 1834, with its sister service, the United States Navy. The USMC operates installations on land and aboard the sea-going amphibious warfare ships around the world. Additionally, several of the Marines' tactical aviation squadrons, primarily Marine fighter task squadrons, are also embedded in the Navy Carrier Air Wing and operate from the aircraft carriers. The history of the Marine Corps began when 2 battalions of the Continental Marines were formed on the 10th of November 1775 in Philadelphia as a service branch of the infantry troops capable of fighting both at sea and on shore. In the Pacific theater of World War II, the Corps took the lead in a massive campaign of amphibious warfare, advancing from island to island. As of 2022, the USMC has around 177,200 active duty members and some 32,400 personnel in reserve. Mission. As outlined in 10 U.S.C. 5063 and as originally introduced under the National Security Act of 1947, 3 primary areas of responsibility for the U.S. Marine Corps are seizure or defense of advanced naval bases and other land operations to support naval campaigns, development of techniques and equipment used by amphibious landing forces in coordination with the Army and Air Force, and such other duties as the President or the Department of Defense may direct.
2, 3, 4, United States Marine Corps. If I wanted to be a doggy, then I would have B. A CB. A CB. Well, then I would have joined. Well, then I would have joined the Navy. The Navy. But I wanted a job. But I wanted a job that makes you lean and mean. That makes you lean and mean. Live in the woods. Live in the woods with an M16. With an M16. Eat hot dogs. Eat hot dogs. And pork and beans. And pork and beans. Now the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps had all these things. Had all these things. I said I wanted a job. I said I wanted a job that gives you pride and joy. That gives you pride and joy. Now the Marine Corps. Now the Marine Corps had all of this. Had all of this. Now the moral of. Now the moral of this story is. This story is that when it comes to. That when it comes to. The armed forces. The armed forces. The Marine Corps. The Marine Corps has got them all beat. Has got them all beat. The lead kids cold. One can't hear you.
Thank you for taking this time out of your day to come and visit me today. I appreciate it. It was a wonderful experience to put this together. Now remember this. Remember, if you don't learn anything else from me, okay, look at this right here. Dream a little dream. You see that? Dream a little dream. Okay, that dream is that the cable company can be your company. And you come and join us no matter where you're from. If you're on this earth, you belong to this earth, okay? And you belong to the cable company. And the cable company will put our arms around each other and we support each other just like we do on YouTube. But we do it in real life. I'm in the cable company. Say it. I'm in the cable company. Okay, and we get millions and millions and billions of us is what I wish for. Okay, now I want you to come and join me on Sunday. Sunday at 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we play a little game. We learn about the Constitution. Okay, that's what the most important thing is. We learn about America. And we play a little game, we have a little fun. But I want you to join me and come in here and be with me and support me. All right, support this channel because this channel will support you. All right, y'all have a blessed day. Come on back and see me. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. You know the deal. All right, bye-bye for now.